So that there is the flag of Guam. Beautiful flag. And we have the Stars and Stripes of the United States right there, which is actually where we are today. This is a American island territory in the Pacific called Guam. But this particular place on the other side of the island from where we are is known for its pirates. At least this restaurant anyways. This is Jeff's Pirate Cove. This is an amazing place where we had some burgers on the other side of the island. And they gave me this pirate headband. Ah! Yarr! We just ate lunch. I just wanted to kind of introduce you to a new area that's really far away from Japan. I know this is called only in Japan, but today this is a very unique place. And check it out. You can see this really is, it feels like you're in this local island restaurant. I love it. I'm going to take you inside and show the other side as well as the food. There's also a cave where a Japanese soldier, I'm kind of studying a little bit more about the history here, but there's a cave where a Japanese soldier was living. He dug a cave. I guess he didn't know the war had ended for decades, but. Oh, hey. Oh, check this out. That's Anthony Reed. Yesterday we saw him in his magic show. He's one of the people, as well as Hank Rice, who told us to come here. Check this out really quickly. I want to show you yesterday's magic show that we went to. This is really great. Apparently, Anthony Reed has been to Vegas, and his show is so amazing. Hank Rice, which is like a comedian, which they went back and forth in the magic show here on Guam. They just worked really good together. At the end of the live stream, I'll show you some clips from it. But here's Jeff, the pirate, right here. Check that out. Kanai and Leo are eating on the other side, and I'll show you their food in a second. Wow. It is really big in here, so I think they can do some massive parties. Leo, where's your pirate bandana? He took it off. He looked like that about 20 minutes ago. He thought he was a pirate. Sam is here. Hafadai. Guam has some of the best hikes full. I know. I wish we had another day to do all of this stuff here. He's getting it on. While we're waiting, I can show you what the food looked like. Here, let me bring that up right here. So this is the food coming. It's a pretty big pirate burger. I like the fact that they brand in the pirate sign on the burger. That's perfect, right? It's a pretty big burger. It's a pretty big burger right there. That's a nice breeze. You can see the lettuce on there kind of flapping in the wind. Isolated side of Guam, it's really nice to do that. We just don't have enough time out here, which is a shame. Oh my God, that burger was massive. And now you can see I'm outside here. Jeff's Pirate Cove. Famous place. And there it is, Guam, USA. Again, the USA side of it is really interesting to me because, again, 3.5 hours from Tokyo and you're in the middle. You're in the United States. It's just kind of, it's surreal to me. It really is. It's a surreal sight. But the view is not. It's just, actually maybe the color of it reminds me of the Maldives out here. It's got a really beautiful Pacific blue color to it. Maldives is in the Indian Ocean, but it's, I don't know, the colors were so intense. I remember I stayed out in the Maldives for a few days with my mom in about 25 years ago. from India. We took a flight from Mumbai to the Maldives instead. It's a kind of a strange place to go with your mom, mostly people on honeymoon, but it was still memorable. It was still a really nice time. I mean, how many chances are you going to get a chance to, how many chances do you have to go to Maldives when you're that close? And that's sort of my feeling with Guam. I think, it's really far away. It seems like from New York and Florida and Texas. We get so many viewers on the East Coast as well as in California. Guam seems so far away. But in the same way that Maldives seemed really far away, but when I was in Mumbai, it was just a couple of hour flight to get to the Maldives. It was like almost a no-brainer. We had a few days to spare and said, let's go do something different. You could also fly up to Nepal. But when you're in Japan, if you're American, to fly from Tokyo or Osaka to Guam for 3.5 hours, I think is really a unique opportunity. I never really considered it until I had miles expiring for ANA, and I had to use my miles in order to, or I was going to lose them. So I said, well, let's book a flight. Where should we go? And I said Guam, because I'd never been there, and it's right on the map, and it's America, and this is going to be such a unique experience. And Kanai has a history coming here because Japanese, during the bubble era, they would often come to Guam, quite a lot of people, through the 80s, 90s, and then the 2000s. And now with the American dollar so weak right now, so strong right now, it's very hard for Japanese to come here. Chinese aren't coming, and they were a lot of the people that were filling in, a lot of the tourists filling in the blanks of the Japanese not coming. People from Korea aren't really coming so much either. We met a couple from Korea at the hotel. But you know what? A lot of the places are empty. Saipan also has this issue where there's not a lot of tourists. And my idea is, look, more Americans than ever are going to Japan, to Tokyo. I don't think it's a big leap to say, why don't you consider making this side trip to Guam, especially if you have some miles that you want to use. I don't think it's too many miles. You can come to a place like this. And everyone is telling me how, oh, in Japan they don't speak very good English. I said, well, guess what? They speak pretty darn good English in Guam. I'm just saying. I think there's a pitch to make here. It's a pretty unique experience, right? It's a pretty unique experience for sure. Let me show you, I drove around here a little bit. I want to show you some of the roads. So this is me driving around Guam on this backside here. It reminds me a little bit of India. It reminds me a little bit of like any place that's tropical. Bali as well, if you've ever driven around here. It's pretty unique. And then I hear Kanai telling me I could probably live around here, she said. I said, really? How you doing, pirate? Show me your pirate face. Arr. Do the pirate face, Leo. He needed a sword. Arr! Yo ho ho ho. Oh, he went straight to the gun from the sword. There were some firing ranges where you could bring guns to in Guam. You could try shooting. That's very American. I gotta admit it. I remember when I was in college, friends of mine in Ohio would take me to shooting ranges where they gave me they said you could shoot any gun you want. Which one you want? So you want an AK? You want a Colt? What is a Magnum 45? It's like, nah, I can't handle the heat. So I think I had one of those little 9mm or something. I haven't fired. I fired a gun in Cambodia. If you paid a certain amount of money, you could fire AK-47s and bazookas back in the day. I'm not joking. You could fire a bazooka for like $100 in Cambodia back, I don't know, like 25 years ago. And there was a story of an English guy. He said, how much for the cow? I don't know why. The story was there was an English guy. He said, how much for the cow? And they said another $100. So for $200, he shot a cow. And then they made burgers. That was a story. I don't know if it's true or not, but everywhere I went in Cambodia, all the other people were telling me there was a British guy who did that. So again, it's like could be an urban legend nowadays, but I'm surprised it wasn't an American dude. I mean, like, you shoot it and then you get burgers, but that's really was a cruel thing. But you could do that in Cambodia back in the day. Not anymore. I know, bazooka. Without a license or training or anything. Just pay them $100 for the ammo. If you're going to shoot a pirate gun, use a bluster gun. Isn't the ones with the fuses? There's like you have to actually light the fuse in order to shoot it like a cannon. Isn't that the ones the pirates had in the day? This is so beautiful. This is Doug 35. This is freedom. Look at all the empty space. The only place that has empty space like this in Tokyo is the Emperor's Palace around the Emperor's home in the center. There's a lot of open space like this, but it's all his, the Emperor's. You gotta treat it with respect. But out here, I can run around and scream, and no one's gonna care, except maybe Jeff the pirate who owns the place. B. James Merrill writes in here, what's the cost of living in Guam? There's some Guam YouTubers that really discuss this in pretty good detail. I thought that was interesting. You might want to check it out. Guam has YouTubers. So some of them break down the cost, especially if you're in the military and you're moving here. It's not cheap. One of the locals that's been living here for a long time told me last night that a lot of the homes were purchased from people abroad, like let's just say, for example, China, and they bought them pretty cheap, and then they rent them out to servicemen, but the rent is too high, so there's sort of a kind of a pricing problem in Guam right now. But I see a lot of empty spaces, but I'm sure a lot of people, but I believe, I'm gonna move closer up here because I think we're moving away from the Wi-Fi. But I think that the costs in Guam, of course, they're gonna be higher. Another thing that somebody told me was that one of the things that somebody told me with costs, a lot of the goods that come into Guam, they can't come directly to Guam from, let's say, Thailand or from China. They have to go to the mainland where I guess they're taxed or tariffed and then come back to Guam. So it almost makes no sense, right? Because you have, hold on, let me make sure that the signal is good. You guys hear? It says the transmission's a little weak. All right, we should get it back in a second. LM, thank you so much for buying our lunch there. That pretty much covers it. We gave a fairly generous tip as well. I forget that tipping culture is a thing here in the United States, so you have to remember to tip your server, which is not the case in Japan or a lot of places in Asia for that matter, but always tip your server here. They did a really good job. I think they're going in. So at 2 o'clock, I'll be meeting with Guam's tourism people for North America and seeing what I can do to help. I would like to make some content that's not just in Japan. I'd like to focus on some of the islands, and I think Guam has a lot of potential. In fact, because it's so close to Japan, it just makes a lot of sense that people might want to make that hop over from Tokyo. And with the over-tourism problems that's going on in Japan, the experience is a little bit too much. And there's like nobody here, which is, it's really crazy. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. I want to pull up some video that I had from the DFS, which is like this area. Is this it here? Yeah, check this out here. So this is the center of Guam where that DFS place is. There's like nobody around. Usually this place would be filled. Oh, that's the Hard Rock Cafe. But there's really not a lot of people around here. There's some people across the street, but the places were all empty. It's something that would be a little bit concerning to me, because I don't know. I'm kind of worried about the situation if they're going to have enough people to. Oh, this also happened. I don't know if I should show this to you. I went to a place called the Crown Bakery. It was really good. They had a lot of good stuff there. So I got this coconut hapia, I think it's called, coconut cake, and like I didn't ask him to write it in red, but I said, yeah, just write "I love Guam" because it's no one's birthday. But he wrote it in red, so it looks like ketchup, and it also kind of, red's probably the worst dye of them all. But it was really good cake. We ate most of it there. Uh-oh. You saw the yellow one?
Yellow curry.
Oh, I want to see it. Okay, I'm gonna go check it out.
The rock.
Okay, the bathrooms. Maybe better to go to the women's one. The men's one had a trough. The men's bathroom had a trough in it. It's the kind that I only saw in Australia. It's like a long one where everybody just kind of shares. And there's ice dumped in it, and it's pretty high up there, so I don't think that Leo could do it. Yes, the coconut cake at Crown's Bakery is to die for. Yeah, it was really good. Inside they put this coconut type of cream in the middle of it, two chiffon cakes with coconut icing and then dried coconut around it. You're in Guam. I mean, everywhere there's coconut trees, so it's kind of almost a no-brainer. If you want to ruin your appetite, you do it with coconut cake. You know what I mean? But this is a really beautiful place. Look at that. There's picnic tables over there. There is of course, I think there's a strong connection with Hawaii as well. A lot of Hawaiians seem to have friends on Guam and vice versa. A lot of the goods that travel to Guam have to go through Hawaii first. So again, the prices are a little bit higher. There's some housing issues. You'd think it was all really cheap, but apparently, it's something I want to look into more. But it seems like it's kind of expensive. But I think if you compare it to California with the taxes, there's no taxes here, I believe. I think it seems like it could be comparable, or definitely cheaper than San Jose or Los Angeles or San Francisco. And you got this. Look at it's peaceful. So everyone says that they want to go and retire in Japan. A lot of people have been telling me that. It's like, why wouldn't you just come here and retire in a place that speaks English where there's no taxes, I believe? Maybe there's duties. I don't know how the system works, but like, this is just really amazing, right? And you got coconuts all over the place. And you have Jeff's Pirate Cove where you can come and hang out and get drinks and stuff, right? And you can go and see the magic show. All right, let me show you a little bit of that before we end this here, because I got to go into town. I made a video that kind of highlights all of this here, our experience. Let me bring this in. Boom. So I'll talk over it. This is the Anthony Reed with Hank Rice, the comedic genius right there in the corner. Very funny combination. Anthony is very funny as well, but with the comedy relief in between the acts, like here right now, bringing in people from sometimes other places in Asia that can't speak English very well is pretty funny for them too. I mean, not in a cruel way. It's just it leads to certain situations, and Hank knows Japanese culture very well, I thought, so that there's a good connection with. Let's check it out here. Oh, okay, yeah, let's go see it.
Now there, to the rock, and stand it there. Be careful.
Leo's bringing here. Here's Anthony Reed doing the floating woman, which is incredible. Like, I don't know how they do this, which is the point. Yeah, I can't go too far, Leo. I'm gonna end this live stream. Hold on a second, because there's no signal there. So this also impressed Leo, and you should have saw his face. He's just amazed at how they do this here. So I'm just gonna forward it here because Leo's calling me. This is also funny. This guy from Taiwan got up here, and he became a cowboy. And okay, Leo, I'll be there 1 minute. I'm just ending this here.
You can come. She can come later.
And they do a little skit together. And again, this is like in between the serious magic stuff as well. This is great for kids, maybe more so than the dancing stuff, but everybody was very happy, and at the end of it, a very big standing applause as he shot stuff with the banana, and stuff happened. I don't know how it works, but I'm coming, Leo. Hold on. Yeah. So I would highly recommend that, especially if you're staying at the Crown Plaza, because that's where the event is held. This one was amazing. Did you ever see like the great magic stuff where they go into water and you don't know how they escape? Like, we're sitting in the second row watching this, and it's shocking to me First of all, yes, that's real water. Yes, they really locked him in there. Yes, I'm freaking out because I've heard accidents can happen doing this kind of stuff. You see, he's saying he's okay, and then they locked him in there, and he doesn't have any breathing apparatus or anything like that, like Houdini, right, Pac NW. And then they opened it up. Every 30 seconds or so, they showed if he was okay. He must have been in there for over 2 minutes, I think. He could really hold his breath. He's working out, working through those chains, and at the end of it, I don't want to spoil it. Oh, okay. Somehow he made it out, but so did that other woman. She ended up in there. I don't want to ruin it, but I think you have to see it with your own eyes. Okay, let's say goodbye to everybody now. LM.
Bye.
LM, thank you. Whoa, ah! You say, yar! Yar! You show your pirate face. There you go. Guam pirates. Magellan also visited Guam. We didn't have enough time to go to that spot, but it's on the list for next time.
We can go.
All right, matane. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, you run to mama. I'm coming. 3, 2, 1, go! How fast can you go? Faster, faster! Hey, that's my cue to go. I bought us a little bit of time. Okay, I'm coming. I bought us about 30 seconds. All right, guys, take care. If I see something interesting, I'm going to bring it to you live, but we're here for one more day. Got to head back into town and go visit tourism places. But also, let me know your thoughts on my ideas see if a tourist would actually be willing to go from Japan to Guam. What do you think about that? Leave me a comment down in the comments below, and I'd like to hear your opinion on it. Jane. Matane.